Disaster preparedness. The Philippines is one of the most high-risk countries in the world for experiencing natural disasters. The list of possible natural disasters includes earthquake, floods, typhoon, volcanic eruption. The Philippines is considered to be one of the most storm-exposed countries on Earth. On average, 18 to 20 tropical storms enter Philippine water each year, with 8 or 9 of those storms making landfall. Situated on the Ring of Fire, the Philippines has a number of active volcanoes which periodically threaten their immediate vicinities. Ngayon, Sal ang Bulusan volcano sa permanent danger zone. Established around their summits by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. Disaster can strike at any moment with little notice. Disasters affect millions of people each year on a personal, business, local community, or national level. The golden rule for successful disaster management at all levels is to increase awareness, develop action plans, and practice them. Waiting for disaster to take place is not the right time to plan. Typhoon. Living in one of the most storm-exposed countries in the world, we have to be prepared to face and handle storms at any time. What to do before a typhoon? Build an emergency kit and make a family communication plan. Know your surroundings. Install straps or additional clips to securely fasten your roof to the frame structure. This will reduce roof damage. Be sure trees and shrubs around your home are well trimmed so they are more wind resistant. Monitor weather reports and don't ignore rainfall warning alerts you receive through text. Ensure you have enough food and water supply. Secure your pets in a safe place. What to do during a typhoon? What to do during a typhoon? If a typhoon is likely in your area, you should listen to the radio or TV for information. Turn off utilities, electricity if instructed to do so. Turn off LPG tanks. Avoid using the phone except for serious emergencies. Stay at home or in a safe place. If you really have to leave your home, avoid areas that are prone to flooding or landslides. Watch out also for flying objects and debris. The Philippines lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire, where 80% of earthquakes occur. Although no one can predict when an earthquake is going to strike, it's still important that we are prepared for what's going to happen. Here are some tips. Prepare an emergency survival bag or go bag containing essentials for survival, including easy to prepare and non-perishable food. When visiting or a building after an earthquake, remember to bring your go bag. In the event of an earthquake, drop, cover, and hold until the shaking stops. Never use an elevator. Stay away from power lines. The volcanic eruption. The Philippines lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire. 80% of earthquakes occur. Although no one can predict when an earthquake is going to strike, it's still important that we are prepared for what's going to happen. According to the Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Geology, a service institute mandated to integrate disaster from volcanic eruption. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and other related Philippine volcanoes are among the worst hit areas. Approximately 30% of historic eruptions have resulted in fatalities. Most notably at while 80% of eruptions have caused considerable damage. There are some things you need to know to stay safe before, during, and after volcanic eruption. What to do during a volcanic eruption? Comply with your local government's mandatory evacuation, especially if you are within that designated danger zone. Prepare for evacuation if you live in the following: within 15 kilometers of the volcano, low-lying areas prone to flooding due to lihar, mobile homes, temporary shelter, or houses made of light materials prone to infrastructural damage by volcanic debris and ashfall. Find out where local evacuation centers are located. Prepare a go bag filled with essentials: food and water, spare cash and debit or credit cards, gloves and blankets, sturdy shoes with a good grip, eye protection, 95 face mask and face shields, first aid kit with necessary medicine, phone, laptop and chargers, flashlight and batteries, important documents. If the internet is still available, monitor volcanic activity by checking Facebook's advisories. If not, join in the regularly for more information about the reaction. Flooding. Flooding is a regular occurrence in the Philippines, so it should come as no surprise after heavy rains. If you live one of the country's flood-prone areas, be sure to take special precautions beforehand. What to do during a flood? Switch off any electrical supplies at the main switch before the waters get too high. Take precautions against electrical shocks. Move to higher ground immediately and wait until safe. Stay away from bladder water. It may contain dangerous substances, sharp debris, or may be swept off your feet by fast flowing water. If you have no choice but to wade through water, select an area of still water and use a stick to feel for firm ground where you can walk. If you are driving and encounter a flooded road, avoid driving through it. Manila roads are bad enough during normal cannot stop natural disaster, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. So many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness.
What will you do for first aid if there's an accident? After an incident, first aid. If someone is injured in an incident, first check that you and the person who is injured are not in danger. If you are, make the situation safe. When it's safe to do so, assist the person who is injured and, if necessary, dial 911 for an ambulance. You can carry out basic for first aid. Assisting an injured person. The three priorities when dealing with a casualty are commonly referred to as ABC, which stands for airway, breathing, circulations. Airway. If the persons are first unresponsive, ask them loudly if they're okay and if they cannot open their eyes. If they respond, you can leave them in the position they're in until help arrives. While you wait, keep checking their breathing, pulse, and level of response. If there's no response, leave the person in the position they're in, open their airway. If this is not possible in the position they're in, gently lay them on their back and then try to open their airway. To open the airway, place one hand on the person's forehead and gently tilt their head back, lifting the tip of the chin using 2 fingers. This moves the tongue away from the back of the throat. Don't push on the floor of the mouth, as this will push the tongue upwards and obstruct the airway. If you think the persons may have a spinal injury, place your hands on either side of their head and use your fingertips to gently lift the angle of the zoo forward and upwards without moving the head to open the airway. Take care not move the person's neck, but opening the airway takes priority over a neck injury. This is known as the zoo thrust technique. Breathing. To check if a person is still breathing, look to see if their chest is rising and falling. Listen over the mouth and nose for breathing sounds. Feel their breath against your cheek for 10 seconds. If they are breathing normally, place them in the recovered position so their airway remains clear of obstructions and continue to monitor a normal breathing. Circulation. If the person isn't breathing normally, you must start chest compression immediately. Agonal breathing is common the first few minutes after sudden cardiac arrest when the heart stops beating. Agonal breathing is sudden irregular gaps of breath. This shouldn't be mistaken for normal breathing and CPR should be given straight away.